What is going on? I have been asked a lot about shirts. Some of you guys been around for a while. You know I had shirts. Well, technically, I still have shirts. I've got a few of these left. I have 3/6X's. Had a lot of people wanting those. Bought them. They've sat here for years. I've got a large and I think 2 smalls. Kind of got some for kids. Had a few people interested in those. Most of those did sell, but that's what I have left over. Reason I haven't really ordered any more is they're expensive. Don't really, more or less, I'm paying to sell shirts, if that makes any sense. By the time I have them printed, shipped to me, shipped out to you guys, kind of coming in the negative, which sucks. Ain't trying to get rich off this by any means, but it's kind of rough paying to have your shirt out there. It's like, I don't know, it's advertisement, I guess, but it's expensive nonetheless. So sometime last year, I would say I kind of had an idea about doing some screen printing. Seen a bunch of people do it, kind of looked easy, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Well, guess what? It actually turned out pretty good, not gonna lie. I mean, for the first time doing it, it kind of surprised me. So what I did, I bought a super duper cheap kit. That's what this is right here. And another downside about trying to do shirts is every time you do an order, say you order 20 shirts. That's cool. That's, a good bit of order. But you sell those, obviously you got to have more. So then you got to pay a setup fee. And that basically includes them going to get this screen, putting it on there, dialing it all in. If you have multiple screens, you're paying more prices because, they're doing different screens. You have to pay that pretty much every time you get another batch printed. Usually it's about $100. Kind of a bummer, extra $100. That adds up real quick. Say it's been a long time, they don't have this screen anymore. Well, you get to pay to have a new screen made. I don't remember the price off the top of my head of that. I want to say it's $100, it may be cheaper than that. But as I said, that adds up real quick. Now, are these shirts going to go away? Maybe. I do own the images for this, so I just have to figure out how to turn it into a screen. I'm not the best at computers, as most of you guys may know. But I'm learning. I did draw this up on my own just because I figured it'd be way easier in trying to convert these files over to what I needed to be able to put it on screen. So those are still going to be around more likely. It just may take me a little bit. I am looking for someone to do graphic designing. I've reached out to a few different people. Haven't had the best of luck. I don't know. I say I'm not too picky, but I'm probably pretty picky. Just looking for something a little bit different. Car oriented. Everybody wants a cartoon car. I don't want that. But anyways, getting moving into this video. Might notice that box there. Vevor. They had reached out to me a while back about an air jack, a little airbag jack, and asked me if I want to try it out. I think it's cool. I use it a lot. It works really great, especially for somebody that works by himself like me. I use it a lot, like on compressing cylinders. Say I got it on the passenger side. I can slowly crack open the jack and run around to the driver's side and hold the switch down while it compresses the cylinder. Awesome. Very handy. So the reason I'm bringing that up, I did mention I bought a Super El Cheapo screen printing kit. I bought that one a couple years ago. It probably was a Vevor kit as well. I just bought the cheapest thing I could find, honestly, because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. So I was looking for a little bit better option than what I have right here. And it did the trick, but it was just terrible to set up. Really kind of hard to do shirts. So I started looking for a better sized machine. And lo and behold, Vevor had one. So I reached out to them again, and I asked them, I said, hey, would you like to partner up? The last video went good. It was a handy jack. They said, yeah, we'd love to. They dig the channel. They want to help out the channel. And helping out with merchandise seems like a small thing, but it's actually a pretty big deal. So now we can pretty much have possibilities to do anything. Any kind of shirts, really anything we want to screen print. So that's pretty awesome. I do appreciate them working with me again. We're going to pull this out of the box, start setting it up, maybe even print a shirt or two. Just for those that couldn't see, that's what I had made. It is nice, very well done, very nice quality shirt. That's what I did. Yeah, a little bit cheaper quality for sure. This is really worn. These shirts are probably 4 or 5 months old, and I wear them a lot, as you can tell. Which I've also learned more. This is literally print number 1. That was print number 1. That was print number 2. Like I said, I do wear these shirts very frequently. So we're gonna get this thing together and kind of go from there. Maybe learn a little bit. Like I said, hopefully print some shirts out. So here's a pretty much layout of all the parts. I was really thinking it was going to be a lot more assembling than what it is. It looks pretty well straightforward. I am very happy to see this. That was our straggler bolt there. I'm happy to see that right there. A lot of kits I see criticism about not being able to fine tune it and have all the screens be able to line up just right. I'm not a professional by any means, but I think that's what we use here to make that happen. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to lightly go over the instructions. I know real men don't use instructions. Well, you get old enough, you get tired of putting stuff on. Whoa, crap. You get tired of putting stuff on that way when it was originally supposed to be that way, or that way and it was originally supposed to be that way. Yeah, I don't have time to do stuff twice, unfortunately. It is fun just building it with no instructions whatsoever and proving how good you really are, but I don't have time for that. So probably not going to do a time lapse. I think I'll just do a few shots putting some of this stuff together. Really, it looks super simple. I will definitely let you know if it is simple, or if we're running into any problems, we will address that and kind of show you what we're running to. But really, in all honesty, I mean, everything's pretty well quality looking. So we're going to throw it together and hopefully be printing some shirts in no time. So I put these on, pretty much tightened all that up, set this kind of where it wanted to be, tightened all that up. That way, every time I put these on, it would kind of line all this up, if that makes any sense. So far, all of them fit down here really nicely. None of them have any play. So yeah, that's how I did that. So I've got all the clamps on that hold the screens. Basically, it's got a slot adjustment in there. I more or less just put it, down. I say down. I didn't do that one. All the other ones, I didn't do that one either. Jeez, I'm terrible here. What I was thinking I was doing, I was going to set them this way, pretty much flush. Bring that around. Just set it like that. Pretty much set it flush, just to start out with. If you have any different tips of what I should do, I am totally new to this. So if you do have any tips of how I should set this up, leave a comment, because I'll probably be messing with it for a while. But yeah, definitely down to take words of wisdom, that's for sure. Alright, so here we go. I got the black ink all mixed up. I don't really know how much I'm supposed to put on here. I feel I've already messed that up pretty good. Slather some on there about that. Probably should have that down just a hair. I was on the verge. I had this down a little bit further, kind of right in there. I was kind of on the verge of popping up. I didn't want to get some ink in there and bump it and pop up. Put a little bit more in there. You can finish with too much. You can't finish with not enough. I'd rather kind of one and done this. Granted, I'm only doing one shirt. But, as I said, finish with too much. And that is the goal here. We're going to run that to see what she does. Here we go. This is 1 of 1. I did measure each corner. We are pretty darn square within a 30-second, I would say. So, that being said, get a little bit of ink up here. Here we go. Voila. Messed up the very beginning. Well, let's see if we can do this twice. I don't know how it works out. Still new to this, guys. So that being said, I don't know what to do. I'm going to put a little bit more ink there. It's probably not the right thing. I could probably go backwards. That's probably definitely an option. We're just going to do this. See how it works out. Gotta learn somehow. Here we go. I should just leave that up there like the pros do. It's alright, but it ain't great. I should have just left it how it was. And I just got ink all over there. This one will be a limited edition for sale. The bidding starts at $1 million. So, messed that one up. But it's alright. Can't make a salad without breaking some eggs, right? Well, you gotta learn one way or another. Alright, so we messed that one up pretty good. It happens. This shirt's pretty well ruined, so we're going to get some use out of it. We're just going to do a bunch of test passes, kind of turn the shirt, and do some runs. I was going to do a smaller little D logo there. Kind of looks like it might be a little bit of pain to rig this up in here. So I'll have to work on that. Probably can get a smaller squeegee and it'll make it easier. As of right now, the squeegee I have, I would run it sideways. Kind of hard to mount in here. Sure, there's an easier way. Like I said, still kind of learning here. But what we're going to do, I did some YouTubing. And one thing I should have definitely done, should have flooded my screen first and then went over it. Definitely wasn't holding enough pressure down. That's why we had our problem up here. But, you know, we're learning. That's what we do here. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit. I'm going to run my squeegee and we'll just flood my screen like that. We're going to set it down, and now we're going to try it again. Hopefully I have better luck this time. Oh yeah. Did a pretty good bit better. Still messed up there just a little bit. But this is going to be one of those things where I learn. That right there is pretty well acceptable. Not too shabby. I do need to clean my screen a little bit better. Actually, really need to just redo the screen. Like I said, first time doing this stuff. But that is not too bad. We'll try it a few more times and kind of try to learn from our mistake. I have used quite a bit of ink so far, so we will definitely be investing in some ink. So I'll pretty much bring you guys with me through the whole process this time. Just loading it up and all that. Like I said, I did use a pretty good bit of ink so far. Probably wasted a lot, yes. I agree 100% on that. But we'll just see how it goes. We'll add a little bit extra on the side. There we go. I feel that will be enough. What's kind of weird is I feel like it would go through the screen, that's why I'm kind of hesitant. I'm pouring it up there. So we will flood our screen. I'm actually going to bring that back. Do it one more time because I didn't do very much there. There we go. That'll bring the majority of my ink back to the front. Get our screen set in place. And we'll send it. Let's see how we did. Much better. Much better. That, I think, would work. I think the only problem I'm having right here is probably because my screen is just dirty. Yeah, that is it. It's a really fine line. And it does look like it has some ink in there. But I'll bring you in and let you check it out. Yeah, much better. Like I said, right there is, not the best in the world. Could be a little bit crisper on the edge of that Cadillac symbol. Not terrible. We'll do one more super amateur test run. And then I might get some practice in. Kind of bring you guys back once I'm a little bit better, perhaps, for a final product. So we got our screen flooded. We'll drop it down. We'll go to town. Apply a little bit more pressure. And you can actually do it a few times, from what people say. We'll see if we'll mess up by doing that. So we'll flood our screen again. That part will turn out terrible. Well, let's see. Yeah, that was good. We still have our area here, which, like I said, I'm pretty positive that's the screen itself. Other than that, it's not too bad of a job. Yeah, before I go in like mass production, I'm going to do some different screens. That's just a starter there, a little learning curve, if you will. We'll do one more. How about that? I'm going to try to push it this time. Push it real good. There's a few different ways that you can load this screen and load your ink. We will try pushing it and see if that makes any difference. I really don't think it will. I kind of feel we are getting the best that we can out of what we're working with here. All right, here we go. This feels really weird. Same result. So either way, it's working good. We are getting the same defect spot, so that definitely is in the screen itself. Like I said, learning, not bad. I'm pretty happy. I mean, really, in all honesty, that's not terrible for definitely a at-home job. But we can only go up from here. That's a really good start. All right, so I don't know if we can tell or not, but I did some multiple test rounds on this white shirt, so it's definitely not for sale. I've already worn it and stained it up. We're going to try this here shirt. Once again, this probably won't be for sale. I learned that my screen has kind of seen better days. More likely, I probably should clean it better the first time. Since then, I have ordered some more supplies. I've ordered some more screens. This one really isn't made for this machine. We're making it work. But I do have one more fresh shirt, so we're going to try and lay down some white ink and see how that turns out. Got some fresh ink. I don't know. Still, again, I'm fairly new to this, so we're going to mix up some ink, see what she does, kind of go from there. This is brand new, as you can tell. I have not used it at all. I really wish they would put a better little tab on there or something to peel that off with. So we'll bring you back after we do that. All right, so we got that off. We'll stir this up a little bit. As I said, I've got more supplies on order. I'm going to get some spray adhesive. That will definitely help out when I go doing multiple colors, because if you've seen on the first shirt that I did, I lifted this up, put it back down. Well, when I lifted it up, the shirt peeled off of there, so it actually moved its index point just a little bit. So if you're doing multiple colors, definitely don't want that, and that's what this machine is designed to do, is multiple colors. And seeing as I'm still kind of new at this, I don't have everything set up to do that. So we're just going to roll with what we have and move forward from there. So we got our ink fairly mixed up. I'm going to glob some on here. Really should be using a bigger spatula. But again, this is what I got to work with, so we're making it work. We're gonna put a pretty heavy coat on there. Make sure you get out to all the edges, because I think that's where we messed up the first time. This is definitely a mess. As you can see, I have some black gloves on now. So I will be investing in some gloves as well. All right, we are ready to go. So I'm gonna flood it, and then I'll screen it one time. I may flood it again and squeegee it one more time. That's probably gonna be the way to go. So here we go, flooding it. And I really should have put more in the middle. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit more on there. Flood it one more time, and then we'll do the real deal. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, we'll flood it one more time. Spin that around some more. Dirtying up one side of my squeegee. Alright, here we go again. We'll bring it up, see how she looks. That one turned out pretty good. My tape job was terrible. How did I miss that? Somehow I did. Well, there is another lesson learned. Do a better tape job. Other than that, turned out pretty good. Still got a little white spot there. Definitely going to be some learning on this. And there's what she's looking like. Normally now what you would do is you'd run that coat. You might see some holidays. You'd run that coat, dry it, put the screen back on it, run another coat. And also, with a bigger screen, we're not going to have those problems with tape edges because we're not going to be running the ink over the screen. So this is pretty much wrap this video up for me. I got plenty of practice to do. Hopefully you guys will be seeing some merchandise come soon. I got a buddy of mine. I'm going to try and get to work on some stuff. He's kind of confident about it. Said it might just take a while. I am also, looking for a full-time, artist. If you draw up stuff for screen print and stuff like that, let me know. Stickers. I've talked to a few people. They just, I don't know, I guess they're afraid of money or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to leave the video here. Appreciate Vevor for helping out. They do sell more than just a little bit of things you've seen from me. They got all kinds of tools, pretty cool stuff. So anyways, we're going to leave it here. Appreciate you guys watching. Remember, you won't know what you can do till you try.